and I'm gonna start working on the tail. Several things to install back here. Horizontal stabilizer. I'm gonna see if I can get it not necessarily installed, but at least drilled. Fit some of the pulleys, maybe even the elevator if I have enough room. Two brackets I'm gonna go ahead and rivet on. This is for the horizontal stabilizer attachment points here. This bracket here and this bracket back here. Well, today spent about 4 or 5 hours, my wife and I, measuring everything to get this horizontal stabilizer, some holes drilled for it. Several things you have to measure. You have to make sure it's flat in relation to the black steel frame way up there, to left to right. Make sure it's nice and flat to that, and that we accomplished. Also, another thing you have to do is find out the degrees of this right here. Typically you'd be, pretty flat, 0 degrees, but my front tire's in the air a little bit. I got it propped up in the back here, so the plane's not sitting in a resting attitude. So anyway, the frame here came out to 5.5 degrees nose high. So we use that as a reference line in order to find the appropriate cord line on this. So I used the tooling hose. I enlarged those so it's 1/4 inch, so they would actually fit my 1/4 inch clecos. I put just a little rod on there and put my level up there and made sure it was, here I got little markings, 5.5 degrees equals 0, which that means it's level with each other. So the plans call for either to stay level or you want it -1 degrees. So you want it either in a level attitude or slightly nose down attitude. So I think I got mine at right about 0.5 degrees on this side, and the other side came out to be about 0.6 or 7. As far as drilling the holes, we measured 1,000 times, and there's 4 areas to drill. This horizontal stabilizer actually had these little L angles coming down out of it, and I had to shave a little bit off so I could get the nose down that I needed. Drilled just a 40 size in both sides there, and then in the back also I drilled 2 holes. The level going back and forth is still set 0 degrees, which is every once in a while I'll have like 0.1 degrees with the right side up ever so slightly, but it bounces back and forth. So I think we're close enough for what we're doing here. And now I'm just gonna make sure I got my string here. I got a center rivet there, and as I pull on here, I make sure both sides right here are, if that'll focus. Making sure my string on both sides are actually the same. I put a little blue line on there. Well, after high amounts of stress, I finally got this thing mounted again. It's not gonna be a permanent mount. It's just gonna be there so I can fit the, in fact, I gotta make the vertical fin so it'll attach to the rudder. So finally, everything's pretty darn close to each other. So yeah, there we are. All right, we're looking at the tail of the fuselage here, and here's a bracket that goes on right here. I think it helps mount the vertical fin. Something else kind of watch out for is there's a bolt that goes up through here to help mount your vertical stabilizer. And there's a couple little lips on this extrusion here, right there and right there, that I shaved off just a little bit just so I could get my nut on just a little bit. I probably took more than I needed to on this side, but that gives me plenty of room. I actually did a little test run. Gives me plenty of room to get my socket on the end of that. Well, I got the elevator cleat coat on. Just cleat goes on by the hinge part on the horizontal stabilizer. We haven't actually riveted the hinge part yet, so we're just able to cleat that on. Got my wingtips cleat coat back on as well. Next thing I'm going to do is what I was doing. There's let me get up here. There's some weight, a counterbalance weight for the elevator. 2 bolts go in these 2 holes there, and the weights they come with are right here. There's a long bolt. These are full-size weights. I don't know what the weight of each one is. And these are, I didn't realize this, you have 2 different packages. And this is like half the size of this. So in case you need to fine tune it, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so. These holes going on to this bolt were incredibly tight. Very, very, almost too good of a fit, honestly. I ended up enlarging these holes. They were way, way too tight going on. There's no sense in that. So I enlarged these just one size, maybe the 64th or so, even larger. It wasn't too much. But these are made out of steel. I'm going to go ahead and prime these, paint them, at least prime them anyway. Put something on them just so they don't rust. So I'm going to do that tonight, and then I will work on the, just get a rough balance tomorrow up there. All right, I have the counterbalance steel weights now in position. I think I found a happy place for them. I think I ended up putting what I put on there. Start now. It looks like 4, 5, 6 of the thicker ones and 2 of the smaller ones. And that seems to give me a pretty good balance. The only thing I didn't have installed was the trim tab arm there, a servo. That's what you call it, I guess. Anyway, so I just kind of rested that on there. And that puts me pretty much in the neutral position. And that's what we're gonna go with for now, as far as being balanced. All right, well, I'm putting the, trying to mark a location for the pulley. I have the string representing the cable for the elevator. There's a pulley that's located somewhere right in here. Plans don't give you an exact location. They just say make sure the cable won't actually hit the horizontal stabilizer. And from what I've gathered from other people, the closer you can get to this horizontal leading edge of this horizontal stabilizer, sometimes the better. It may not make a huge difference now, because now the problem used to be if you're too far this direction, this cable would actually hit into this lightning hole now. But now they have a fairing that goes up in here and keeps that pushed down like a little, like almost like a nylon block. So anyway, so that's really not a huge factor anymore, but I'm still going to keep this as far forward as I can. And what I decided to do is just go in between. There was a rivet here. Actually, I haven't put a rivet there yet, but no good reason. I just haven't done it yet. But just in between these 2 rivets, I marked a line, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this angle. And this is going to sit somewhere like that. So anyway, we'll get that, and once I'm done, I'll show you what that looks like. Well, I got the pulley system riveted on the top. I still have to work on the one inside of here. But anyway, this is the new system they have here with this little fair lead sitting right up there, just so the cable don't rub up against a lightning hole. I guess in some instances it was actually doing that. Some situations, depending on where you would mount this guy. This is how I have this one mounted. It's pretty sturdy. I think had a notch out here. I believe there's going to be another little piece that comes around here, so I may have to take more off of here. I'm not quite sure yet. And this piece I kind of shaped as well. Just because there's another piece that's going to come really close to here that I got to install. And that's for a part that you'll see later on. But anyway, that's the idea behind the fair lead, which again is a new part from Zenith. And then I added this bracket back here. And all they call for is just one bracket, but I went ahead and added this one. And that should work pretty well. I'm marking my locations for the bottom pulley, which is going to go upside down inside the skin there. Well, just using the home built help method of transferring the holes, since this pulley will be upside down underneath where this is, just got a scrap piece of aluminum, transferring the hole so I could drill down into here, and that looks like it's going to work out okay. I was trying to put the upside down pulley, which goes right up here. It goes actually back down up in here. I was trying to do it with this whole part closed in, going through this hole here, and it was kind of challenging to go up like this trying to fit it. Then I realized, well, I just take this side off. I don't have it riveted yet, so maybe a smart idea to leave this back part at least unriveted. You can get to this.
Oh, just a second. Are you still near me?
Huh?
Are you still near me?
No.
What are you?
Huh? Yeah, I'm recording. Okay.
Just a second. And then everybody
Yeah.
Can you count up how old?
I don't know.
You're going to close the question?
Yes, please. All right, so here's what the inside pulley looks like. And that was a lot easier with the side skin off. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and rivet it and be done with this side. Well, it's time to work on another little sub-assembly, the vertical stabilizer. So here's all the pieces for that. They are caked in dust and everything else. They've been sitting for quite a while. It's going to feel nice to work on something like this. It's just nice to change the pace every once in a while. So I got the tail pretty much on again. I just have it cleat-coat on this time and remeasured again. I'm just paranoid that way. I just want to check about 500,000 times, make sure everything's still straight, level, squared, and everything else. And and the incidence is okay. And so everything looks great here. It's good, like I said, good to be back on something else, a little sub-assembly. Get the vertical fin on and get that fitted. But getting ready to head out for vacation here for a few days, so I don't know if I'll get much else done other than just wipe the parts down and take the stickers off, maybe deburr a few parts, and go from there.